get to
La, 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 la.
Welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. I am Elemen2al. Happy Monday, y'all. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We've been doing this for 175 weeks now. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? 175, man, it's been a road, but we're going to keep doing it as we do it every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on your screen, 279-995-364. It is a different world inside the Zoom. Trust and believe. Come in. Join the greatest community in the world. It goes down. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills. All right, so we would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute or by hitting the Cash App at $ New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the world, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now? Damn it, you should be. Also, make sure you are plugging in with the squad. Shout out C4. All these folks are absolutely phenomenal poets. Make sure you are plugging in with each and every one of them. They are on the move. This is where you can find me. So many things going on. Make sure you plug in, some incredible things on the way, truly. Tonight's theme, be the lighthouse, calm within chaos. You know, a couple folks reached out to me about this one, right? This is an interesting one, even for me. You know, when the world is crumbling around you, what does it mean to be that fixture on the horizon? Right? The grounding factor that keeps you focused on your goal or your destiny, right? And what does being a lighthouse even mean to you? Is there a lighthouse in your life? Like, I'm looking forward to all of it. As usual, your poem does not have to be on theme to rock with us this evening, all right? But that is what we were going to be looking at this evening. Next week's theme, coming at y'all. Ready? Native tongues, code talkers. So next week is actually National Code Talkers Day. This is significant because in World War II, they had a group of men they called the Navajo Code Talkers. And they had a code that the Allies used to help win the war. And it was using native languages. So I would like for us to explore the importance and significance of speaking your native tongue, right? About culture and necessity, right? And knowing this, right? About how people use our languages, they almost seem foreign to others, but they are who we are, right? Which also makes us sometimes code switchers, right? Or a double consciousness. So that's what we're going to be looking at next week. Hope everybody comes through and plugs in. It's going to be amazing. All right, let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry this evening, y'all. Poets, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see the beautiful expression that goes into your poetry performance. And I want to see if you figure out these backgrounds. So please turn your cameras on before you get ready to rock. As you're getting ready, please have your poem ready. All right. If you're going analog, dog ear the page. If you're going digital, have it pulled up and ready to rock. If you're using music, that's totally cool. All right. Make sure it's original music. If you're playing original music, make sure it's original sound. All right. Original sound, original music. We don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our stream in any way. All right. So make sure it's original. Poets, you got 3 minutes to rock. Got a 30-second intro. Let the folks know how they can connect with you, what you have going on, the latest stuff you're about to drop. Make sure you also are changing your name in the Zoom to coincide with how people are going to connect with you. All right. We have reached night 30 for the babies. All right. The founders of our cafe were proponents, major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it maintains in every vein of what we do. Therefore, there is no censorship. Other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate, which will not, I said not, be tolerated, there is no censorship, all right? There are explicit lyricists in our community. Some may bring up some triggering, painful flashbacks, all right? Thou hast been warned. Trust and believe. This is a true call and response space. After a poet gets up here and they rip open a main part of who they are, you will see this pop up on your screen. This is when you can release all of that energy that you've been holding on to. All right. Let the poets know, let the people know that you are here. Share that energy with the room. All the energy that you share with the poets, they will return to you in their poetic performance. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's the rowdiest night of the night anyway. And you're getting ready to see it. It's coming back around the corner. Trust and believe. So don't worry about the noise, y'all. Crank it up. It's Monday night. All right. The list tonight is closed. Sign up begins 24 hours before the open mic, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you go to neweurekan.org. You click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to get down on, and you need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way that you're getting on the guaranteed list, and these will not even populate until 24 hours before the show. So make sure you plug in. Also going on in the brick and mortar, the Monday night open mic, also hosted by Felicia Cade and Soul Preem, both incredible poets. Make sure you are plugging in with them. The Wednesday night slam, hosted by Jay Rose and the Beacon. Shout out C4. Listen, these poets, if you don't know either one of these poets, make sure you plug in. Do yourself a favor. The Thursday night online open mic this week is going to be hosted by the one and only La Bruja. Make sure you are plugging in and pulling up to hang out with La Bruja. It's going to be incredible, no doubt. Also, in the brick and mortar, make sure you're hanging out with Jive. Shout out Paco. Listen, it is a total experience in there with Jive, for real. Also, right after Jive is the Friday night with Chevette. Make sure you're plugging in there too. Also, coming down the road, the Moment of Passage, more info to follow on that. Tonight's list. Oh my goodness. Are you seeing these incredible folks? Can you see these incredible people who are ready to get down with us this evening? Well, let's get to it. There's all my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh my goodness. It is the best night of the week. It is the rowdiest night of the week. And we are about to show the world why. As I am putting the information in the chat, let's get it started. Coming up first this evening, this poet, newly published, right? Make sure you get it ready because you know I'm gonna mention it, right? Just make sure you ask him tonight too, not necessarily, don't listen to the title of the book. Make sure you're checking him out tonight. Really, truly, truly an incredible poet. Love when we get to jump it off with this poet. Come on, man. The one and only Vex Lex is in the building to set it off this evening. Come on, Lex. Always good to see you. Take it away.
Shout out to you, Elemen2al. Appreciate you always. Like he mentioned, I have a book out called Ask Me Again in 6 months. If you want to plug in with me, follow me on IG, VexLex Poetry, DM me for a copy, or head over to my website, officialvexlex.com, fill out the form, and that's how you can also get your copy. So I have 2 pieces tonight. First one is called Gaslight. I tell myself that I am overreacting, that again, I am blowing things out of proportion. I can make a volcano out of a flame, a snowstorm out of a flake, a tornado out of a slight breeze, while also managing to shrink myself. You have to see things for what they are, not for what they were or what they could grow into. But my vision has been blurred for quite some time. I let my emotions get the better of me. They sit firmly in the driver's seat, and I could either let them continue to control the wheel or for once take over. That was that first piece. And my second piece is called Lighthouse. I want to be the lighthouse I've always needed to see, the lighthouse I've needed in me, that beacon of light when everything has gone dark, even when I've lost my spark. I want to be the lighthouse I've always needed to see, towering over me, guiding me to safety, the calm amidst the chaos. When the storms come pouring in, I stand tall. It's time I free myself from the shadows and come play in the light for a chance. Take my own hand and prepare to dance. Things will get better. I just know they will. Because as disappointing as life can be, there are also the thrills. Why spend so much time searching for the light when you can become light itself? Thank you.
Oh, come on. That's good. What? Be like, just come on. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Vex.
Woo! Woohoo! That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Level, that elite level. Love you always.
Right, right. Like that's how you set it off, right? Appreciate you, Lex. Oh my goodness. In the first piece, you said make a volcano out of a flame. Oh, really? Like, yeah. We are such just magic, you know what I mean? Without trying sometimes, right? While also managing to shrink myself. Come on. Like, and the second piece, this is what I love, right? It's about, you said, being the lighthouse I've always needed to see, right? When I was making music, it was exactly that. It was, I wanted to make music I didn't hear, that I felt that maybe people needed. And so I did it myself, right? Said, come play out in the light for a chance. That when the storms come pouring in, you have to be steady. You have to be rock solid. And if not, you know where to find us. Appreciate you, Lex. Make sure you are plugging in with their new manuscript. Trust and believe this poet is all kinds of phenomenal. So make sure you plug in. Appreciate you, Lex. All right, coming up next, our resident fire spitter. There is this cat. I know he's here. Whip. See, look, boom, pops up. Always at the right time with the right rhyme, and it's always on time. I'm telling you, you're about to see it. The one and only Ed Poetastic is in the building. Come on, Eddie. Unmute yourself, man. Let them know where they can find you. Always great to see you. Take it away.
Thank you, my brother. Like no other words like thunder. If you want to follow me, please look in the chat to know where it's at. All right. My name is Ed Poetastic, feeling fantastic. Please take the time to enjoy my rhyme for Aqua Sublime. This is called Luminous Lighthouse. Hey, June, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to making it better. Be luminous light in the pitch darkness. Shine your radiant glow on the tiny plants. Fill the melancholy weather with eternal bliss. Spread your delights among the starving ants. Turn your endless rain into vibrant heat. Burn the prickly thorns so far away. Cheer on the blackened hearts and frigid feet. Ease the heavy burns our lowest days. Help us grow wings to dance in the sky, making our pain and sharp grief decay. Spread our cold ashes where they lie. Be the golden road that puts us on course in order to bask and taste greener pastures. Be the white pill that destroys the toxic source. Levitate our fallen hopes on a higher measure. Create the flames that inspire the blind. Get lost in their worldly, pleasant chime to help shine, dazzle, and grow our minds. Please swallow the ugly, musky meadows to rebirth a much clearer and bluer pond. Help us kill away the doubtful, tearful shadows to be able to go on. Thank you.
Ooh, I see you. I see you. Changing the heat of your flames. Come on. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Poetastic.
Oh, Poetastic.
Thank you.
Eddie, yeah.
Beautiful lines there. Such a very beautiful line.
I love when poets evolve, right? I don't know if it was Charmander before or Charizard now or then or later. I don't know, but he is definitely evolving, right? Adjusting the heat of his flames. Man, what? And then he had the nerve to sing, right? To take a sad song and make it better. Come on, man. Golden wings to dancing in the sky. I mean, yeah, the golden road that sets us on course. Like, where you headed to, man? Oz, I'm telling you, the whiz is the business, man. Make sure you make a wish because the wiz gonna get it, right? Be the flame that inspires the blind. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. That's on some Wu-Tang, man. For real. I appreciate you, Eddie. Make sure you are plugging in with Poetastic. I'm telling you, that cat always has a rhyme that's right on time. Trust and believe. Coming up next, love when this cat comes through. He doesn't always, but his poetry is always just so, it's so platinum, right? The one and only Professor Platinum, aka Doug Silver, is in the building. Unmute yourself. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Thank you, Elemental, very much. Great to see and hear you and all the poets, as always, of course. This one's on theme, more or less. It's called Shifting. At 15 and a half, almost to the day, got my learner's permit to drive my parents' car, to ride my father's motorcycle. But with the car, I had to have a companion, an older, licensed companion. And with the motorcycle, it was the opposite. I was not allowed, at least by law, and this was a time when I still obeyed the law, to take anyone with me. And I asked my mother, since my father was still at work, could I take a ride on the motorcycle? I could, she said, and I won't tell your father, but you can tell him tomorrow if you want to. A minute later, I was on the road on my own, shifting through the gears with a feeling of freedom I had never felt before. I rode from our little nowhere town to the very tip of Cape Cod to Provincetown, arriving just as the sun was setting, down one lane commercial street, insulated and detached in my full coverage helmet, weaving slowly between and among the cotton candied tourists, the police high above us on horseback, and the many mustached men dressed in leather or in blue jeans with white tank tops like Freddie Mercury. I took a little side street to the harbor, to the fishing boats, saw the lighthouse across the bay, watching over everything silently with a job to do like the rest of us. And at the end of the pier, turning around, shifting my body weight, putting my left foot down to the splintered wooden beams to keep from falling over, and back to Commercial Street, to its very end, at the water's edge, and then, and only then, really turning around and heading back home. I never stopped, never got off the bike, never spoke to anyone, but something, maybe everything inside of me had somehow shifted, had somehow been altered, for then, for there and forever. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Elemental.
Oh, the pleasure is ours, Professor Platinum. Trust and believe. Unmute yourself. Give it up
Thank
for
you.
Doug Silver.
Such incredible
That was
storytelling.
brilliant.
Woo!
That was such a beautiful story. Like I could actually see that in my head when you said that. Like that must have been quite the memory, though. Wow. Oh,
Thank you.
The tastiest of memories are ones that you can serve up to people and they can savor the same flavor, right? And that is stories like that, Doug. You know, when and look, there's so many parts of that, right? The freedom, as you mentioned, of being on your own. But then, you know, the exhilaration of, as you mentioned, shifting through the gears, right? Because if you've ever heard someone grind the gears, it's horrible, right? But when you can get on there and you can shift the gears and go through and continue to go, like that is a win in itself, you know? So to have that freedom and to have that type of exhilaration, you know, that is a memory that never goes away, right? Mentioned Freddie Mercury, man, like even with that sound blasting in your ears, like, come on, even, you know, when you even think about that, it just makes it even more memorable, right? A lot of times I found that some times or instances are tied to music, or at least they make them easier to recall. So thank you, Doug Silver. Always appreciate you for coming through. Truly, make sure you are plugging in with Professor Platinum, a mainstay of our community. From one mainstay to another, the Jedi Master himself is in the building. The one and only Paul Skiff is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, OG. Always great to see you, man. Come on, take it away.
Hey, hi, everybody. Glad to see you all here again. Thanks, Elemental and RMT behind the scenes there. Just going to read the second part of this piece. It's still in progress. I'm not that happy with it. And so there's, you know, there won't be great continuity here, but I think you might be able to get into the poetry. It has an epigram which goes, "It may be many things, but my role as a poet is not to get you to like me." Laid out March Hare as Cheshire look bored. Wait, how did they get in here? Alienating the audience is a theater trick, not a poetry device. And the title of this is Double Rainbow and the Understanding Less Grace. And again, I'm just kind of starting in the middle. Instantaneous, really seeing profundity spliced with just making up stuff to imaginate reprieve from a menu offering chastising alternatives to false impunity, remaining unstained, self-proclaimed autonomy, righteous individuality, and other class-based assumptions about being immune and unalienated, sounding to be harsh violation, a harrowing ritual of belonging is agreed upon categorically by all of us who consent to serve ourselves into this life through deciding to simply continue. Does a hurricane, pandemic, or multi-vehicle pileup ask us less? Are we to turn ourselves away from knowing the void that can replace our hearts? Would not the scathing, frigid touch of this emptiness forever equip your fear with measure of self-respect dignity requires to be insurmountable by ignorance? Consider the misdirected quests for salvation pursued or resultant from so many of your fellow riders of this tortured orb we claim to need, where somewhere over the strange bow. All the byproducts and leftovers from cosmetic procedures bought by the family of media celebrities were donated in pious earnestness as secondhand parts for the self-esteem clinic called virtual popularity, where somewhere over the strange bow, California's gang of wildfires have formed a union to demand shorter workdays from the petroleum lobby. The feral infernos plan soon to join forces in the coalition of symptoms, with every bullet hammered off in all the American mass shootings, and together the two manifestations of our self-loathing will found the United States Barbarian Association. Then they will throw a party for the Supreme Court's uterus plan. Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin joined Boko Haram in an atrocity contest judged by a self-appointed Hollywood talent match mogul, because the art of autocratic psychosis should be induced into competition to display the idea that marketing can make money flow from anything at all. Convincing example of marriage to nihilism. Societal well-being is assuaged by the neglect depraved indifference has for its own vestigial humanity that eliminates impossibility imposed on redemption. So distraction pulls a providence swindle, and humanity is finally forgotten by unfeeling into communal love. But no matter if salvation arises within us from over the strange bow, courageous spiritual longing should still be lauded and cherished, even as we more realize ourselves redeemed from the direction of absurdity. For does not our inner light flow thankful through the door that may also be opened by pure unhuman chance, the phenomenal magnetism called coincidence, or the weird occurrence best unnamed, only experienced as a new pristine day? Tell me you would not breathe such air with thanks, even if there was nothing below to bestow the gratitude upon, just a boundary beyond which lays only our limit of knowing. After all, we cannot think, believe, hope, or aestheticize ourselves to grace, however much about that humans are conceited. Somewhere over the strange bow, way up high, Dorothy fondly places that 700 micrograms of LSD people call clear light directly upon her eyeball, where the minuscule garnish of methamphetamine dilates her eyes' tiny capillaries to the width of the Midtown Tunnel, and the world rushes out, and the universe rushes in, where aspiration to bliss and ownership of unimaginably limitless insight are conceits in an egoless dimension. Somewhere over the strange bow is happening this instant. Listen to me now. Somewhere over the strange bow is happening this instant, tucked between two pages. Whir in the hard drive. Darkness behind closet door, asleep in left slot of the light socket, underneath last mint in the box, under grime and scratch on a penny. Somewhere over the strange bow is in plain sight, as dark void of immeasurable distance next to the North Star. Do not resist. Let the strange bow in. Healing encompasses us, accessible to all. There is no privileged pathway, no necessity for an enlightened, adept person who knows. No need to search for it. Healing is yours. You only need name it so. So, somewhere over the strange bow, I'm not sure how the thick middle layer of my heart muscle that is so much like my tongue learned to lead me on this coronary muscle detour journey, soul echo quest depredation dodge dance, or how the voyage has happened at all. But I think unknowing is what asks us to be at peace. To comprehend human light has arisen within me does not require my understanding to be feelably true. If it did, there would be no such thing as a poem. Thank you.
Yeah. 1 second. Right. I know, right? You took all the air, right? Like, damn. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Paul Scale.
Unbelievable.
Wow, Paul,
Oh,
amazing.
The intricacy of your descriptions and the historical fact in some of the things you say is just mind-blowing. That Boko Haram thing took me back to certain things that pissed me off, and thank you for that.
Which is why he said what he said, right? As soon as we walk in the door, they say, damn it, how did they get in there? How the hell did they get in here? Right? We are riot starters in the best of ways. And you come in swinging poems like that, right? He said, it may be many things, but my role as a poet is not to get you to like me. Said that from the jump, right? How did they get in here? Alienation is a theater trick, not a poetry device. Come on, man. Really? Really? Second half body parts, right? This tortured orb, like the U.S. barbarian. Really, man? Where humanity is finally forgotten by unfeeling. Marketing can make money flow from anything at all. Man, that ain't the damn truth. Really. I mean, somewhere, you said somewhere exists an egoless dimension. When you find out the coordinates, you let me know. Unless it's somewhere over the strange bowl, what you're talking about. Listen, that is a dope ass line, man. Somewhere over the strange bowl. That's ridiculous. Appreciate you for that. Real quick, let me shout out some folks before we move on. Shout out Black Lotus in the building. Appreciate you for coming and hanging out with us. Joan B in the building. Melinda Lucas is here. Mia Aguilera, always love when Mia's here. Truly appreciate you. Terry Rose Jertson in the building. All these poets are incredible. These folks are not on the list, but decided to come and spend their Monday night with the community. We truly appreciate y'all. Really. Whew, Starship is underway, y'all. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, our resident superhero. This poet makes space, make room for so many poets on so many platforms. I like to call her the daughter of Krypton. The one and only Finn Bell is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you and connect with all the incredible things you do. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Always good to see you too, Elemental. Thank you so much. Good evening, familia. You could find me on Instagram. I am Finn_Bell. So this poem is, for right now, it might change, titled Leviathan. Glint of sun, reflection off dusty car window, refraction in my filmy lighthouse eyes. Where does the burden of knowledge flood a soul-parched spiral staircase? My feet grounded on the concrete question, the poet. Grill the seeker. How many boats are broken toy carcasses now littering my shores? Do I light the flame for them after the fact, after the wreckage? Do I light the complicity, the flame I cannot muster on my own? Do I harpoon the mighty whale with these 2 hands, these 8 window panes, fog-bloodied, a leviathan, heart for a tin cup of oil, a life for a light? Blinding illumination, the sirens tear out their storm cloud locks in their fury, in their envy. Wailing, laughing, they ask, when did I learn the genius to thieve, the slaughter within their song? On the seafloor, rumbling earth core voices speak. The fishes are well fed. Messengers, bellies like smooth weighted stone they consume. The dead swim a stop, start, jerky line into ready nets. Survivors discover the light, the world becomes the sun, becomes the gods. Gut their gasping catch, find sailors lost at sea, spill forth, dining on one another's rot. Heaven in replica upon the sea, and her lovely face. Hell has lived on land longer than anyone admits. The poet, the seeker, grows restless, wanderlust, cannot hold memory. Fast in ghost eel heads, conspiracy among the bees in the air. Was the solitary lighthouse always right here, landlocked? The ward of the stalwart rock? Who was the first human to claw upward from water, sprout mutiny, vain legs, abandon their watch? Who tilted the Fresnel, named it looking glass, caused the world to pine after themselves, to avert their gaze from Amphitrite, from Situ, from Eos, from Selene? Am I my sister's light keeper? Thank you.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever heard that one, but damn. Unmute yourself, give it up for Finn Bell.
Oh,
Wow. Oh my God.
Finn
that was
Bell is
gorgeous.
my gorgeous spirit in the afterlife. Oh,
Mm.
the words though, like the laying and like the layers of metaphor, like the layers of metaphor that just climb. They climb and just
They find their way all the way to
Finn.
the stars and back, right? Again, which is why I call her a resident superhero, right? She called it a Leviathan, right? A refraction in my flimsy lighthouse eye. I don't know, but it seemed quite clear, right? Soul Parch lighthouse spiral steps. I mean, come on, right? Like when you're at the foot, right, of a graveyard, right? Said the survivors discover the light, right? And then I learned the genius to be, just to be, like, who was the first human to sprout mutiny vein legs? Come on. I love when poets just go all the way there with it, like on some outer limits type, just blow the brains, Make sure you're plugging in with Finn Bell, a mainstay of our community. Again, makes so much room and opens so many doors for so many poets. Make sure you're plugging in. Coming up next, one of our resident educators. This incredible poet continues to come through and has become a mainstay of our community. Love when this poet comes through. The one and only Marianne Teft is here. Please unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you and connect with all the incredible things you do. Great to see you. Take it away.
Nice to see you too, Elemental Poet friends. Thank you so much. I have a very short poem this evening on theme, and with brief apologies to Marcus Aurelius, I call this poem Headland. You need me to be the headland, around whose firmly planted feet your floodwaters rise relentless without eroding the foundation. But sometimes I want to be the water, to froth and bubble and chortle, climb chaotic and leap through moonbows, throwing hilarious kisses onto the astonished shore. Many nights and even days, storm clouds obscure my quiet gestures, and you do not see me as I work my toes in the sand, flinging armloads of spindrift toward the full moon. Thank you.
Oh, the moon and how she moves the tides. Oh, love it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Marianne.
That was short.
Marianne, that was
So
beautiful.
in love,
You were waiting for more. Singing uploads of spin drifts. Stop playing.
Yes.
Stop playing.
Okay,
Oh, beautiful.
okay, for real, right? Listen. So sometimes I want to be the water. That's such a heavy thing, right? Because water, as you know, the great Bruce Lee said, right? Water becomes what you put it in, right? And it has so much power. You said moon bows, right? Like this is yes, like work my toes in the sand. Like the water has so much mystery, right? And this is another kind of one of the aspects that I was hoping that people were going to see and actually feel in this theme is the water, right? Right. That just the crashing of the water is powerful, right? But it also can be destructive. So thank you, Marianne, for sharing that with us. Make sure you are plugging in with Marianne Teff. Again, shout out to all the educators in the room. Truly, truly appreciate all that you do. The most underpaid profession probably in the world for educators. So coming up next, oh my goodness, I got to see so many pictures of this incredible poet all over New York. So many poets that he was able to touch and meet and just rock on so many stages. He always comes through with all the gusto. The one and only Gustav Salas is here. Come on, Gustav, unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, man. Take it away.
Hey, Elemental, I'm the Magus 801, MAGUS 801 on Instagram. I have two pieces tonight. First is called A Heartfelt Thank You. My deepest and most loving thank you to my New Yorican Poets fam. My mother died right before the pandemic, and I went into a long and deep depression, a total creative blackout. I was so lost in a maze of grief and helplessness, I wrote nary a word for a full year. The word acedia, a spiritual or mental sloth, was my constant companion. Then I found the Monday night online open mic, and my world opened up to new creative horizons, stretching my atrophied artistic muscles and dragging me out from darkness that had enveloped me like a comfortable straitjacket. There was nowhere else I would rather be than on New Yorican Poets Cafe stage, so free. My mother's with me on that stage in spirit and always in my heart, as you are my poetic tribe. Thank you so very much. Peace and blessings to you all. And since I haven't had time to write, since I've been so busy running around New York City for Poetry Fest, I'm bringing you an old one. This is called Welcome to Dystopia. Welcome to dystopia. Idiocracy gone to hell in A Handmaid's Tale, like a remixed 1980 floor show. Their brave new world's really a plague-ridden medieval times. People playing war games when, strange game, the only winning move is not to play. Blade runners terminating skin jobs. Road warriors beyond Thunderdome. Two men enter, one man leaves. The other guy soylent green. It's people. It's people. But I'm going to bust out the Matrix because I see there is no spoon. The God Emperor of Dune. I make like Omega Man and kill some zombies before Skynet unleashes the Terminators. You are number 5. I am not a number. I am a free man. You are number 5. I am not a number. I am a free man. The prisoner imagines the cell. The jury has sent him to hell. His 6x8 slice of dystopia within a dystopia, America's prison industrial cornucopia. Complex but simple as a slave plantation, 2 million people in incarceration. The US, the world leader in prison population, domestic infant supplier exploitation. Penny wise but pound foolish. We're Gacy clown ghoulish. That's it. We're like Bozo the clown foolish. 698 Americans out of 100,000 are behind bars. China's only got 121 per 100,000, home of the free hours. Pardon the prisoners of the drug war, fought in error. Bring healings to communities where once there was terror. We built our society on a broken foundation. White supremacy and guns are the seeds of our damnation. Guns have turned America into prisoners of unconscience. Afraid at school, afraid in the grocery, afraid you'll be the next Walmarter. Shot, live streamed, and accompanied by a racist manifesto Kickstarter. Tucker Carlson paraphrased by the incel loser who has taken society's abuse and is now the abuser. The abused is now the abuser. Thank you very much, everybody. I love you.
That damn Gustav does it every time. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gustav Solid.
Gustav is the main man every time, man. Much respect.
Nice job, Gustav Solid.
Yeah, yay!
Can't wait to meet you one of these days, man. One love.
Gustav, thank you. Thank you for that. It's been a while since we were reminded about those things, right? When we all found ourselves together, you know, a lot of us were in those places, Gustav. So thank you for being brave enough to say that you were in that long and deep depression, right? And this space was the same for me, right? It was a new creative horizon, right? Finally shedding the comfortable straitjacket, right? And I love the fact that you mentioned, first of all, my condolences for losing your mother. And I love the fact that you know that your mother is with you on the stage, right? That she feels all of that with you, that she is sharing that experience with you. Really, it just makes you stronger, right? Listen, Welcome to Dystopia is a poem that I absolutely love. I really, really like. There is no spoon, right? Beyond Thunderdome, right? Complex and simple at a slave plantation. I mean, listen, built our society on a broken foundation. I mean, come on, man. Like you're writing the American narrative right there. Appreciate you, Gustav. Make sure you are plugging in with the Megas, a mainstay of our community. Whew, let's keep it going. Coming up next, a mainstay of our Thursday night open mic. This incredible gentleman, every time he touches the mic, he has such a way of telling his stories. I like to call him the Vincent Price of poetry, aka Turnpike Ike. The one and only Ike Waltz is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, Ike. Please take it away.
And Dada says, debug your brain. Subversive and irreverent, Dada, more than any other art movement, has shaken society's notion of art and cultural production. Yes, most 20th century art movements trace their roots to Dada of the 1920s. Good old Nietzsche, who questioned everything, called it how one philosophizes with a hammer. Fiercely anti-authoritarian and anti-hierarchical, Dada questions the myth of originality, of the artist as a genius, suggesting instead that everybody should be an artist and that almost anything with the art. My poem, Raw Dada. And Dada says, debug your brain. I don't want to be a drummer. I want to be the instrument, to be played on the dark side of the naked street during everyone's lunchtime hour, just being played with that wild pair of drumsticks. Bibbidi bobbidi bobbidi boom, 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 bibbidi bobbidi boom, 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 boom. Blah. Once I was afraid of words. Blah. Now, my friends, these words are afraid of me. Bibbidi bobbidi bobbidi boom, 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 bobbidi bobbidi boom, 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 boom. There will be that day when you will say, once I was free to carry a gun, and I was brave to kill at will anyone. Be the day I asked my pretty AR gun. It responded, make love, bro, just be a real man. Yes, there will be that day when condescending words are too become afraid of you, of AI, of everyone. Otherwise, my friends, we are fucked. Zepum, 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 boom, boom, bibbidi bobbidi bobbidi boom. Blah. Fuck yeah. Boom, boom. Woof, woof. Meow. Kiss that blooded orange clown on your golden iPod app. Meow. Thanks.
Wow, I was not ready for that, but goddamn. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ike Wall.
Ike, yeah.
Oh, did I just beatbox for us right there?
Yes.
Much love, much
It
respect.
engages all my senses, almost all my senses. It's beautiful.
Oh, yes, yes. Always combining
Right.
the most beautiful
Such an experience, right? Like, for me, it was giving me like the Music Man, right? Bed knobs and broomsticks, a little Mary Poppins sprinkled in there, just that rhythm, right? How one philosophizes with a hammer. I mean, you know, he said, I don't want to play drums. I want to be an instrument. Come on. Come on. I've said that before. I borrowed it from a DJ that I know. Said, you know, at one point, you know, I become the instrument and the universe is playing me, right? And that's exactly what this is. He said, I used to be afraid of words. Now words are afraid of me. I love that sentiment. I just love it, right? I just love it. Said my AK friend said, come on, just be a real man and do those things. And I love the fact that we are here to challenge those things, right? As poetically as we are, we challenge what people say or dictate what we should be. Thank you, Ike Waltz. Truly, truly a mainstay, a master storyteller. Always look forward to seeing you come through. Appreciate you, Ike. Coming up next, all the way from the East Bay, this incredible poet has what, 7, 8, 9 books out now, man? I think 7, I believe. Love when this cat comes through. Always enjoy hearing his new work. I hope he's got some this evening. The one and only D. Allen is here. Unmute yourself, D. Let the folks know how they can plug into you, man. Always great to see you, bro. Take it away.
One poem for 3 minutes on tonight's theme. Let's get started. Poem's about 1.5 years old, but it's new to y'all. This is called Invitation. I come here for community I'm bereft of currently, as no community or culture would claim me as one of their own. Critique of these simple words I scrawl onto paper, seeking eyes on the net. Release from my lips to virtual captive audience. That means y'all. Approval of my chosen role as a culture worker, building anew with terms and phrases. Hostess, I accept your invitation. And that poem was called Invitation for Meg Worthy from Bleeding Hearts Poetry Club Open Mic. It was short-lived. Originally published in the New Zealand literary magazine, Black Male Press number 45, November 2022. From this mic to your ears, I'm D. Allen. Thanks for listening.
Tell you, that dude just does it, just bounces. I love that shit. Unmute yourself, give it up for D. Allen.
D.
You are
Yeah.
necessary listening. Love hearing your poetry.
D. Allen just like, I love how you just come on, D. Allen, right? You come on to do what you do and you dip, right? Then come for the shenanigans and the woohoo poppers and snappers and all that jazzeroni. Nah, take this work and I'm gone. Appreciate that, man. Such an East-based spirit. For real, I love that, man, for real. You mentioned community though, right? And I need y'all to know that that's the important part of this whole thing. That is why I continue to come here week after week. That's why I've been here, because the community means the world to a lot of us, right? And I'm thankful, D. Allen, that you brought that particular poem this evening. You said no community and culture would claim me as one of their own. That was something that, you know, was very prominent in our community for a while, right? And we still use it. But that is something that really means something to me, right? And clearly it has meant something to a lot of you. Let's remember that, right? And let's keep the spirit of that moving forward for every member of our community, right? Because each one of us could be saving each other's life right now. So please understand that and respect this space always, truly. Thank you. Thank you, D. Allen, truly. Cultural worker, yeah, man, yeah, that you kind of do that. All right, I don't see our resident piano man, so we will come back. So we get the luxury of moving on to the most eloquent writer that I know. This gentleman stays up late across the pond, but I believe he's still in Jamaica, Queens. He has made his way all the way to New York Poetry Fest and has found himself with some incredible folks doing what poets do. The one and only Lantern Carrier is here. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, Lantern. Always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Still here in Jamaica, Queens. Will be here for another 3 weeks. Thank you. Be the lighthouse, calm in chaos. Mesmerized by the temptress of desire, I became addicted to wanton indulgences and unlit shadows. I was allured by the pleasantries of mirages, not knowing there were bittersweet fruits emitting the toxins of serpents, not unlike the Garden of Eden. I became a rudderless ship, drifting through a dim-lit ocean of confusion, loneliness, and fear. Pain prodded me like an emotive blade, the boisterous waves my only listening companions. The dark robes of insecurity grabbed me, with the red cauldron of remorse in hot pursuit, resonating the stinging memories of delusions that I initially took as pleasure. I landed in a desert of searing emotions with no oasis of love to comfort me. I reached out to Jannah, entreating to the light. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. Suddenly I spied a beacon in the distance, even as the breath of love whispered in my despair, "Be the lighthouse," she said. "Can you not see how its rays illuminate the path to weary mariners of the Tao?" Calm, silent, steady as a rope, and anchored in sweetness, she patiently reveals the way for lost souls to the citadel of the heavenly corals and aquamarine moonbeams of light. Benga, Ser el Faro. Come, be the lighthouse. Reach into the heart and banquet in the plenitude of supernal love. She never stresses and is devoid of chaos. Know that you create this world by the vibrations that you're offering to her. It is the nature of the scorpion to sting, just as it is the nature of lighthouses to illuminate the darkness, so you can navigate life's choppy waters to find your way home. Come, be the lighthouse, serene in the din and hustle of life, sereno en el estruendo y el ajetreo de la vida. Greed now evaporated from my teapot, leaving me a jasmine of excellence. Callousness was vanquished, and humility offered roses rather than the thorns of pride. No more echoes of gunfire and hate, no more the bigotry of division. I accepted the trauma of my afflictions, transmuted it to love. I am a lute that came here to manifest music, a magical song returning to the bewilderment of my original harmonies. No more the inequities that tire my soul, the lemons of medicinal gall. I now walk in the succulence of unspoken rhapsodies and dine at the banquet of celestial light. Anton Carrier, thank you.
Dine at the banquet of celestial light. This guy, unmute yourself, give it up for Lantern Carrier.
What a last line. Dine at the banquet of celestial light. What a last line. Oh my God.
Good.
You did it again, Lantern Carrier.
Like someone said, you are actually the lighthouse.
Look, man, look, this is poems and poets that really add spice to this language that we call English, right? To this thing we do with our tongue. It's poetry, right? I believe poetry is the universal language. I know music too, but poetry is poetry, right? In the beginning, you said you were addicted to wants and indulgences. That a rudderless ship. Like when you find yourself as that, when you recognize yourself as that, right? In a desert of searing emotions, right? You find yourself praying to the Most High. You have nowhere else to go, right? You find that lighthouse. The nature of lighthouses is to eliminate the darkness. Eliminate the darkness. That's what we do. That's what this is about. That's what this evening is about, is eliminating the darkness. It's shining the light on things that run from it, right? Bring back those original harmonies, right? Because we do manifest music in what we do. Thank you, Lantern. Amazing work as always. Thank you for sharing it with us. Make sure you are pulling up with Lantern. Again, he said he's going to be in NY for another few weeks, so make sure you are pulling up. All right. Coming up next, poet, and I'm going to pass it over to RMT. Coming up next, I have not seen this poet in a good while. If you don't know this next poet, I suggest you find a way to write their name down or make sure you connect with them. This phenomenal individual does this for real, all the way from the Philippines. Director of the Poetry Global Network, the one and only Lacan is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you and connect with all the incredible things you do. It is great to see you. Take it away.
Magandang umaga. Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be back. 2 years. It's been 2 years. And it's great to see you all, Elemental, rocking this stage. And everyone here as well. So, kudos to New Eureka. 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. So, I had a conversation with Finn 2 days ago, and it inspired me this poem. And about the lighthouse, and classical poetry is usually my lighthouse. So I went with Shakespearean sonnet, reverse line palindrome. The house of light and water. Let your ocean's bosom become my dawn's home. As my midnights roam in your depths' ransom, being free to fathom our love's kindred dome, a determined prom near to abandon. For my ardent flame is never ashamed, for me to be claimed by your tide's vast name. I am yours, my dame, born to be exclaimed as a vanguard aimed to anyone's blame. Trust my bright tower to your serene waves, as it also saves my every hour. To your great power, my burning heart caves, my love only paves for your forever. Even my last fire I give as goodbye, knowing as I die you live, never tire. No, knowing as I die you live, never tire. Even my last fire I give as goodbye. My love only paves for your forever. To your great power, my burning heart caves, as it also saves my every hour. Trust my bright tower to your serene waves, as a vanguard aimed to anyone's blame. I am yours, my lord, born to be exclaimed. For me to be claimed by your tide's vast name, for my ardent flame is never ashamed. Determined prone, near to abandon, being free to fathom our love's kindred dome, as my midnights roam in your depth's ransom. Let your ocean's bosom become my dawn's home. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much, everyone.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I told y'all before he started what it was. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lacan.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
great to see
intimate,
you.
very beautiful, very intimate lines.
Yay!
Yeah, for sure.
Great job.
Much love.
Love it. Love it. Look, Lacan is one of the most prolific poetry performers I know. If you've never caught his performances, make sure you check it out. This cat puts everything into his performance, right? And I don't know if y'all caught what just happened, but if you didn't, make sure you go back and see how he went forward and back, right? And I've told you before, Lacan, when you do that, it's hard to tell with someone's eyes closed. It's hard to tell that that's coming from the same person. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is about perfecting your performance. When your flow is locked in, you can do stuff like that. Real. All right. I mean, listen, he said, may the ocean's bosom become my dawn's home. Really? A vanguard aimed to anyone's blame? Come on. Even my last fire I give as goodbye. So you live and never tire. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, Shakespeare is probably somewhere in the afterlife like, let me get, where's my pen? Let me get my together. This cat's trying to, nah, who you think you are? Appreciate you, Lacan. Make sure you are plugging in with the Poetry Global Network. They are all over the place. All right. Before we move on, I am going to pass it to the dopest tech in the Zoom burst, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it. You should be. Ron, how you feeling this evening?
I am feeling great. What a wonderful theme. As I mentioned in the past, I think you don't just give out the themes, to challenge our poets here on Mondays, but you do it for yourself as well, because amazing what we're hearing today, and I think everyone here is a lighthouse, and we all have saved other lives with our poems. So I love it when Lenton analyzes the poems in the chat and when Elemental analyzes them verbally. It is just such a pleasure. If I wouldn't be working here, I would still attend and participate, because it's such a great time to be here on Monday. So thank you so much, Elemental. Thank you, community. Hello, everyone. For those who may not know me, I am Ron Mark Thompson. I work as the tech assistant on the back end for the Nuyorican Poets Cafe's online programs, specifically the online open mic on Mondays, which is hosted by Elemental, which we are in right now. Also for the one on Thursdays, in case you haven't heard the newsletter, Ray Chain's last open mic as the host was last Thursday, unfortunately. So you can still, watch it if you missed it on our recorded live streams. We will miss her. She will not disappear. Obviously, she will still come, to some of our programs. This week, it will be a guest hosted by La Brua, which Elemental mentioned earlier today at this open mic. And we will let you know next week, who will be the next guest host or permanent hosts for the Thursday night online open mic. We also host a monthly series called Beatniks Online, which is curated and hosted by our executive director, La Brua. That is on the every first Wednesday of the month. In case you did miss last week's edition, which was August 2nd, which was a special hip-hop edition, 50 years of hip-hop, feel free to go back to our live streams. I put it in the chat a few minutes ago. You can find the recorded videos on our Facebook page, Twitter feed, and on our YouTube channel. Also, we have on-site programs at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I work in the tech booth on Wednesdays, but we also, as Elemental mentioned, on Mondays, we have an on-site open mic, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, in the cafe on 3rd Street in Manhattan, New York, which is hosted by Felicia Kate and Saul Preem. Wednesdays is the Poetry Slam, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This week will be hosted by J Rose. Next week will be hosted by The Bee. And on Fridays, 10 p.m. Friday Night Slam hosted by Jive. DJ is Paco. As Elemental mentioned, it is one of our most, the greatest shows that we have on Fridays. He had a chance to see it when he was visiting New York City a few weeks ago. It is just something different. If you're ever in New York City, check out one of our shows. Also, after the Friday night slam, there is a Twilight open mic called The Open Room that is hosted by Chauvet. That is right after the Friday night slam, which means early Saturday morning, about 12:30 a.m., 1 a.m. in the cafe. Also, this week on Wednesday, at a different site at Barrio BX, which is a restaurant in the Bronx, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe will co-present Poetry and Potions open mic. Also celebrating 50 years of hip hop. That one is hosted by our Chief of Staff, Nico Diaz. You can sign up for the open mic, or you can just come and enjoy the features while you're there. Also, Elemental mentioned that in 2 weeks on Thursday, August 24th, we will have a band in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe called the Mono Passage. And we will also have special pre-show performances, which include our programs and operations assistant Cap, as well as the Bee, which is one of our hosts. And also save the date, the block party, you've heard us mentioning it, Saturday, August 26th. outdoors in front of the New Eureka Poets Cafe, which is on East 3rd Street between Avenues B and C. We will have an outdoor open mic. We will have, there will be food vendors, book vendors, children's area. So it is free. If you're in the neighborhood in New York City, come on, attend, participate, say hi to us. It will be a great annual block party. It will be our 10th time. So it's that we're doing a block party outdoors. So we're going to have a little celebration. For all those and all other events, if you want to buy tickets in advance, go to neweureka.org, click on full events calendar, and then choose the date and the time, or scan the QR code here, and or follow us on our social media channels, on our website. You can also contribute. All the information is up on the screen, and I will put it in the chat in a few minutes as well. Again, so thank you everyone again for all the support. Be a lighthouse. This is the theme today. Let us go to our next performer, which I also consider a lighthouse through his education, or sometimes through his stage play chapters that we get to enjoy. We never know what's coming, but it's always a pleasure to have him here with us online. Mr. Tess, I believe you are one of the few poets that we still haven't met in person yet. So either you will have to visit New York City, or we will have to come over to California and visit you. But I know we're going to make it happen. Mr. Tess, unmute yourself. Let everyone know where we may follow you. And then the next 3 minutes are all yours. Welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. RMT. Thank you, New Eureka Poets community. Folks can follow me on Instagram under Gashes2019, and I dropped it on the chat. I'm coming in with a piece titled On Theme tonight, The Tranquil Temptation of Toe Tags. The thief and the joker rise in a symphonic cacophony of restrictions orchestrated by the persuasion peddlers. The painted canvas of limitations, twirling dance of constraints, the bureaucratic bitchery of butchers in pirouettes in the theater of our existence. They whisper, embrace the wall, dear darkly shadow. Abandon your stubborn resistance to cross the synthetic semiotic scarp. The asymmetrical limits we endeavor to waltz through enigmatic barriers, inking the dark sky as mercury, bloodletting, spreading into milkway of stars. Aquatic buffet of blockades, the spindle of hurdles, the carnage of corpses as flotsam floaters. The political parrots en masse resonate the grand cosmic prank with a wink and a nudge of the Janus head of the deceitful revisionism of nostalgic past and future. The plutocracy muse as they watch the hapless creatures struggle in their ceaseless despair, chasing abstract quantum easements, phantom freedoms, ensnared in the web of longing to be included so they can finally be symbolically excluded. The subject is included in symbolization by being excluded. The Halian beasts scramble the exclusionary walls to be included. These subjects are excluded from their own thoughts, since to be included is to give up your internal representations and abandon intentionality. The regressive investment in the structure of collective hallucinations where we are barred, jailed, shackled, chumped, and subverted. In the desolate migratory deserts of the real, there is a fragmentary flow of subject carnal corpses threatened by the psychotic foreclosure and territorial neurotic repression. Meanwhile, the mournful embrace of toe tags fluttering like wilted petals, where darkness dwells in moonlit nights with spectral hue, corpses strewn, drowned by empty signifiers, their stories edged into forgiving frost. Somber choir in the sovereign band camps, voice muted, unintelligible, now broken, shattered as stars in the mercury lit sky. Borders, edges, edged on history's page, unseen on the land where ideology doesn't care if you believe it includes you by de jure. Toe tags of tranquility flutter like fragile prayers of souls departed, the unsolicited stares of waltz of fate. Toe tag 09-00206, date 1/29/2009, name unidentified, age unknown, sex male, cause of death skeletal remains, body condition is skeletonized with bone degradation. When the paranoid psychotics think that the other people know their thoughts, they are projecting their own internal self-observation to the external world. The foreclosure of the psychotic experience internal thoughts is externalized voices. When a people radically reject their own thoughts and feelings, these internal mental representations are experienced as real perceptions coming from the outside, leading to an infantile subjectivity. End peace.
Whew. If I had an extra 2 minutes, I would just let me marinate all this in. This was just amazing. But you know what? I'm going to ask everyone to unmute themselves. Please give applause to Mr. Tess. Whew.
Oh,
Yeah,
that phrase.
wow.
That phrase, infantile subjectivity. Oh, okay. All right. That was dope.
That was dope indeed. I always feel like an extra grain smarter after listening to Mr. Tess. It's just amazing, Thank you so much for being a mainstay here with us, every Monday, Thursdays as well. We love you, Mr. Tess. We need to see you in person soon, but until then, we're going to keep meeting you and, listening to you online. Buy his books, which he has very cleverly displayed in his background, so there is definitely more than one book for all of us, since we don't have the luxury of listening to Mr. Tess each and every hour of each and every day of each and every week, but we're so glad we have him here with us on Mondays. Thank you so much. Cece, thank you for coming in. We're going to put you a little bit later on. I know we missed your spot, but don't worry, we're going to try to squeeze you in. But we're going to now go to our next performer, who in the chat he already put, yes, he got to meet so many of us at the Poetry Festival, at the Verses and Vibes hybrid open mic, at the New York Poets Cafe, and I'm so glad that after all these months we finally settled on an agreeable nickname on you, Captain Flo, and we, because this just describes exactly what your poetry is like. We got to meet your family. We're so glad you're here with us. You also have a book to sell, which you also have displayed behind you. Yes, there it is. Daniel, let everyone know where we may follow you, where we may buy your book, and then go ahead with your flowing poem for today. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you for having me in this space. I put my link tree in the chat, which will have my Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, and my book on Amazon, Emotional Defibrillator. So for today, I actually have a theme from a couple weeks ago for finding balance that is due. So I'm going to jump straight into it. Should be the 3 minutes. Finding balance. Find your balance so that you can be pure of heart. Listen to your dreams. Success come in parts. These years are flying and every month it gets hard. Karma is a bitch, so don't be alarmed. We can all have fun, but there's a time and a place. When it's time to cool down, the adrenaline needs to be changed. If not, amusement will become a chase. The longer the night, the better chance of a mistake. Putting effort into just trying to survive. We all deal with struggles that make it difficult to stay alive. We chase the cash when we should be home with our wives. In this generation, it's normal to say goodbye. With how climate change is now, extreme rainfall is more frequent. Cities will flood and there will be no treatment. That's our problem and a part of Earth's weakness. We need protection, but not from our government. Our planet is being destroyed and we are fighting each other. Earth is beautiful. There are innumerable places to discover. Put the guns down. I don't want my kids to suffer. Let us all be at peace. It's already awful chasing a dollar. In Arizona, heat is starting to become an issue. Almost 2 whole weeks of over 100-degree weather. It's even on the news. We have protests that even with noise, it's inaudible and refused. Now you understand what those people were trying to do. Give it a couple of months and then you'll see how the world will change as inventions increase. We might be too late, so delay your needs. Protect your noggin and of course family. Balance a lifestyle so that you're not married to work. To shield yourself from going berserk. Distract the mind in order to perk. Love yourself and develop the confidence of a smirk. Don't stress. I know it's easier said than done. Organize yourself, which will put priorities up front. Take one bill at a time to avoid the plunge. Be optimistic because that's how you confront. Porn is killing this generation. You pleasing yourself will damage the temptations. Don't be fooled and consider it education. Ignoring your partner's desire will confuse the situation. Fubbing is destroying relationships. To be in the phone instead of your body, it's a concerning risk. To ignore the world for having buttons to click. Present for the moment, then gone like magic. Spend time with your partner and keep it spontaneous. Don't ignore safety because that's just being reckless. You notice the connection and see what it develops. Appreciate the moment and make sure they feel precious. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Give humanity a chance and don't treat everyone like an enemy. You need to suffer in order to discover your identity. It takes time. I know your shoulders may feel heavy. People should be fugal, laughing at the third person effect. Stop judging because that shows lack of respect. Just because you don't know them doesn't mean they're a suspect. Look in the mirror and focus on what they reflect. Suicide by cop is becoming a thing now. Think about the trauma that's left throughout. That night will haunt the officer due to his vows. The victim's family will start a war they can't live without. Finding balance is a key to a perfect life. Run with your ego and walk with advice. Don't be fooled by doubt about what happens at night. Become friends with courage and make success your wife. Thank you.
Kidding? Are you kidding? This is what Captain Flo does. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Daniel Fernandez.
That was beautiful.
Daniel.
That was beautiful positivity, man. That was lovely. Like there were so many lines that actually speak to us as humanity, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. And thank you for having the courage to say that.
Great to hang out with you, bro.
Thank you. It was awesome. Amazing weekend.
Look, this is what I mean by community, right? Again, this space, if it weren't for this space, some of us would have never just happened to run across each other, right? We come from all walks of life, from all over the world. But poetry unites us and makes us a community. Truly appreciate you, Captain Flo, for doing what you do, right? Look in the mirror, right? Suicide by cop, right? Try to be in your phone, right? Instead of, be in your body instead of being in your phone. Like, come on, man, right? Porn is killing this generation. Like, porn is probably the cause of the death of probably every generation since its creation, right? At least part of it. Listen, it's so difficult, really, to say the things that need to be said. But that's why the world has us. So we can say it for them. Appreciate you, Daniel, really, for coming through. Make sure you're plugging in with Daniel and getting his incredible manuscript. Before we move on, real quick, unmute yourself. Give it up for Ron Mark Thompson.
You done with RMT? Yeah, you know me.
RMT.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being the lighthouse. Thank you, guys.
RMT.
Thank you, Elemental, for making my job easier here on.
Make our light
online.
shine, bro.
Thanks again, RMT.
You're welcome,
Look,
everyone.
man, the community speaks, right? Listen, again, I know that cat loves this community, right? And he does it out of the true love of his heart a lot of times, right? That community's crazy. But appreciate you, Ron, really, for your dedication and commitment to what we do and to our community. All right, let's keep it going. Hopefully y'all got your seatbelt strapped on good and tight. Coming up next, this keeper of concrete is sharp enough to be the razor blade's razor blade. Laser precision. Made the church say, God damn, the one and only CP Mays is here. Come on, man. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you, bro. Take it away, folks.
Hey, what's good, people? Yeah, Facebook and IG, CP Mays. Sorry for showing up late to the room. I feel like I missed 3-course serving meal, and I'm just now getting to the 4th course. So next time I'll try to get here a little bit quicker. Got caught up writing a poem. But new shit, and hopefully I won't fuck this up. It's called Matinees. It's called New Releases and Matinees. Here we go. Almost and probably are the posted armed guards protecting all of your movie theaters in your mouth. Theater 1. You play the villain in your own heartbreak at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Theater 2. Girl meets girl, falls for boy, boy falls in love with everything you won't ever become. At 3:45 at Theater 7, in 17 minutes, a motion picture of every one of your well-developed negatives will take center stage. Starring, forget everything behind you left. Co-starring with an ego that will always only know how to exit stage right outside Theater 8 are the Matinees. Best Director in Motion Picture, the 2 nominees are Donald Trump for the riots he incited for which he would never get indicted, and George Bush, who never found any weapons of mass destruction but did find new pipelines for oil production, and I'm sorry, will win Best Supporting Actress in all of their trumped up alibis. Best Featured Actor in a Film, Jesus, for his role in playing Jewish, not Christian. Best Costume Design, whoever took a Middle Eastern man and dressed him up to be a hippie, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus Christ. Theater 9. Best Set Design, Dearest Remembering Mine. Did you know Leonardo da Vinci arranged every actor, character, and Last Supper's master painting? It's Plaster's painting was the planting of the faith of mankind's 2 mustard seeds in a picture-perfect painting. Picture perfect mazes, Moxie, too hungry for a halo, so I got a Last Supper go table. The returns from all of the film's raptures. Best choreographer, best musical score goes to Michael Jackson. Billie Jean, for the kids, not my sons, secretly dedicated to all of the fucking baby mamas in the house. Best adapted work from a novel. Every human editor that's ever edited and published new Bibles. Honorable mentions goes to not LeBron James, the other King James Version Bible, the New King James Version Bible, the New English Bible, English Standard Versions, and lastly, the New Living Standard Version Bibles. Give it up for all of the editors of the Bibles, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, best indie film editor is, ladies and gentlemen, whoever decided to kick the Gospel of Judas and the Gospel according to Mary Magdalene and edited right out the Bible. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, look outside of Theater 12. Best cinematographer in an action dramas, toxic relationships goes to, poster says, God. For best toxic relationship with son when he left his son nailed to the cross hard. Let's call it stigmata, the scars. Back outside Theater 9 is the red carpet. Fuck. To the Matinee Awards fashion show. Truth is, Jesus has stolen the spotlight. He's just had one religion, and that one world religion just won the award for only world's one religion. It should have been love. Red carpet, truth is, Jesus just won the award for only world's one religion. Should be love. The award goes to one world religion. It should be love. The only religion in this world should be love. Boom.
That's just all kinds of raw. I said it made the church say, God damn. Unmute yourself, give it up for CP.
CP just goes like CP goes into preacher mode, and like it grabs you by the tentacles of your soul and,
much more
and
than
like spreads them out into the sea. That is some beautiful shit.
You get yourself a preacher,
Oh,
you got the
man.
philosopher, you got
Should be
yourself
love.
a
I wanna see
stage,
that
you got
on a
yourself a
billboard.
storyteller, you got yourself a whole list of shit.
That's another level of storytelling. I'm telling you, like the different genres of storytelling, but that's another genre of storytelling that enters like the religious of love and pulls the spiritual and intertwines it all together. You can't mess with that, man. Come on, now.
Should be love. I want to see that on a building.
That was a dramedy too.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
Docudrama.
I love it. I love it. Look, so right. When you open yourself up and become that conduit, you don't tell stories, you become stories. You don't just recite poems, you become poetry, right? Maze is just one of those. Again, I've said plenty of times about this community, there are some that do it, but we actually do this, right? Play the villain in your own heartbreak. Come on, man. Come on, right? Go into the theater where every one of your well-developed negatives is on display. Come on, right? Best director in a motion picture. I'm sorry, like, I told you about this damn poem, man. Best featured actor in a film, Jesus, for playing Jewish and Christian. Come on. Man. I'm too hungry for a halo. I told you about that, man. That's the Biggie line, you know? Let's call it stigmata. One world religion. It should be. It should be love. It should be love. And I ask all of you, if love was the one world's religion, who would be its ambassador? Think about that. Appreciate you, Maze. Damn, I told y'all that cat, you know what I mean? Razor blade shade with that cat. All right. From one atmosphere rearranger to another, storm gods in the building. This incredible gentleman, you've been hearing his voice all night. He continues to come and change the atmosphere. The one and only Zomkonto is here. Come on, brother. You know what it is. Love to see you, man. Take it away.
Oh, man, like, oh, you know, the beauty of poetry and the surprises that it always throws at us, you know, like from one sentence to another, like all of you have like put one thread to the next chain, man. One love to CP Maze, because we always talking and you know, collaborating back and forth. I wrote to theme, and this is what I wrote. I am a fascinating trinity of sailor, ship, and sea. But none of these three would ever make it to shore if you didn't become a lighthouse for me. Whichever I am on any given spectrum, I need you to light my way. Because when I have been the sailor, the sea rose from its mother's womb like Poseidon, and its trident waved its middle finger of a tidal wave threateningly. When I was the ship, icebergs laughed an icy laugh that had my mast frozen immediately. When I was the sea, I was angry at everything floating on the surface, so I waved goodbye to so many people that in their drowning, I kissed them with salty tears that they can no longer remember because of how much grief stung their wounds. But all I ever needed was a lighthouse. Did not care if the lighthouse keeper was asleep at odd times, only needed a light that bounces on the water like it is allergic to it, closing its nose to the stench of the waves until it reaches me right here. I am a fascinating trinity of sailor, ship, and sea. My grandmother said, sail the seas with your eyes open. And this woman had never seen the sea herself in her life, but somehow she knew a thing or two about sailors. She said, my grandbaby, if the sea talks rough to you, talk back. and keep darting your eyes far and wide to look out for your savior of lighthouse. But she was quiet about the ship inside me because she had seen one too many slave ships. Yet she didn't hold back on her views about the sea and its ways. She said whenever its waters touch the shore, a lighthouse has been there to save the day. So baby, my baby, be my lighthouse, because my grandmother is a lighthouse. And me being me as a child, I used to make paper ships, drive them towards the shores of my grandmother's chest so she can prove that the light that basked inside her stood on a hill that was best friends with the sea. She thought it was funny at first, until one of those paper ships gave her paper cuts that still hurt her until this day. Because the lighthouse cannot hide the light from its eyes. So loving me is to be a lighthouse, to sit there and observe me, sailor, ship, and sea, as the turbulent waves raise their tridents and as Poseidon feels the intrusion. I am easy to love in the night when the sea is turbulent. I am easy to love in the night when the ship is unsteady. I am easy to love in the night when this sailor is losing sleep. So don't allow me to lose sleep. Be my lighthouse. Gabatel.
Don't allow me to sleep. Come on, man. With that kind of energy, ain't nobody going to sleep. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Zoom Conto.
Zoom Conto.
Amazing.
Anto, that is
the
most exquisite thing I've ever heard. I can't. It's just my heart. I want to consume that over and over again. I'll never tire of that poem.
That is the beauty of water, right? Because the tides rise and fall. They crash and recede. Thankfully, they crash and recede. Because what you do, sir, Poseidon would be jealous on the type of tsunamis that you conjure, speaking of lighthouses. You mentioned the fascinating trinity that you are. You make creatures of the sea jealous of how much you love the sea, but not being a part of it, Aquaman, if you will. You said, your grandmother said, if the seas talk rough to you, talk back. Listen. Said she stood on a hill that was best friends with the sea. Best friends with the sea. When icebergs laughed in their icy laughter, all I ever needed was a lighthouse. This is part of why I created this theme, is to hear what keeps people grounded. And when it's somebody who has helped you get to this point, again, that structure never crumbles, it never deteriorates. And every story is meaningful because every memory is meaningful. It's a step that led us to today. Appreciate you, Zum Konto. An amazingly exquisite poem. You continue to come, as I said, it changed the atmosphere of the room as storm gods do. Appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging in with Zum Konto. Real quick before we move on, shout out a couple of people. I see Hala Al-Sanan. I appreciate you for coming through. Apology if I destroyed your name. Believe Sri Lal is in the building. Appreciate you. Dark Man Blues is here. Poetic Desires in the building. Shout out Garage Poets who are plugging in with us on social media. Truly appreciate all y'all's time, all your energy. You could have been so many other places this evening, but you're rocking with the hypest night of the week and the greatest community in the world. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, I mentioned this cat earlier. I said our resident piano man wasn't in the building, but he is here, right? Mr. Mississippi goddamn likes to say, you know, he's not really sure what he does, if he's this or that. Let me tell you, you are one well-rounded wordsmith, the one and only CC Arshagra is here. Come on, CC, unmute yourself. Let the folks know what it is, man. Great to see you. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, and my website's up again. It's the book is there, and this is a study of free speech. What we're doing. You can speak your mind and not be killed is not an understatement. There are places in the world where you can't write a word without your head being blown off by the government or shut down by a neighbor who says you're not one of us. Over here, you're one of us, from when the rumor goes around. So anyway, lyrics been my thing lately. Got an art show coming up, this little thing, right? 54 artists in a little town are going to show for 3 days in a little place around here. It's called the Rose Ardent Show. And then on the 13th, if anyone's in Madison, Mass, a friend of mine with a nonprofit called Oddball Magazine, which gives a lot of mad love to all these mental health advocacy groups. I'm going to be doing a reading there with about 9 other poets and some other people, and I'm all going to go do some video work for interviewing some of these nonprofits for them. And then there's other shit going on. It's all on my website, ccrshagla.com. I came here and this song was like a day old and I did it, you know, and I played it. I made mistakes. And then it was about 5 days old and I did it again. I got a little better, you know, and now it's a little older and I'm taking it. This is the 3rd or 4th time you're watching this thing be born from noise to where it is now. It's called Navigate Indivisible Love. In the before, through it all, and in the after, falling through love into indivisible love. Through the kind that is divisible, while falling to rise into indivisible love. Now here comes the awareness, where my heart and lungs are home. Yes, my peace of mind resides here, right where fear itself is trying to break it. Sure, all stories bleed with endings. Oh, but that doesn't make it so. So if you believe in only one thing, and that one thing is you don't have a choice. Oh, you don't have a choice. Did you say you don't have a choice? If so, you're someone who was played here, or you're a player with an enslaved soul, playing it for real. say time is of the essence. Some say time's a lying thief. Yet your soul is not a clock controlling you. Don't fear death, and fear itself can't own you. Do not fear death, and fear itself can't own you. As long as you have choices, questions, every dream you dream here is a dream to free you. Every dream you dream here is a dream to free you. Every dream you dream here is a dream to free you. Every dream you dream here is a dream to free you. Every dream you dream here is a dream to free you. In the before, through it all, and in the after. Falling through love into indivisible love. Through the kind that is divisible, while falling to rise into indivisible love. Will we navigate indivisible love? Will you navigate indivisible love?
Man, listen, that piece is starting to cook with Crisco. Unmute yourself, give it up for CCR Chagra.
Oh, that was nice. See, oh, you were cooking. Let the men cook. Let the men cook. Oh, that was nice.
Go, right? Let him cook.
I can't wait till I find someone that's going to really sing this and play this. Someday, I'm going to do the lyrics. I'm going to write them scored and put a sheet music. I'm going to publish them, and then I'm going to put it out in the world and wait for Whitney to come along, or somebody, some unknown Whitney.
The unknown Whitney that I keep hearing is CCR Chagra. The world has been hearing all of those incredible singers, all of those great singers, but the world is waiting for a CCR Chagra album. Come on, man. You're waiting for somebody to do it when you consistently do it right here. And you will continue to do it until it's perfected, and then you're going to record it. Simple as that. I love the new refrain that you put in there. That bridge that you put in there, man, that I love how it does. It does exactly what a bridge is supposed to do, right? It takes you from the main melody, from the chorus, and it builds you until the after crescendo. Listen, every dream you dream here is a dream to free. If that is not the sentiment of this space that we're in right now, every Monday night, every dream you dream here is a free, it frees you. Really. it's also one step closer to being you, to being the real you in this real world, right? In this real world. Man, appreciate you, CC, for bringing that music into our Monday nights, really, for just bringing that energy to us. Telling you, man, that song is starting to cook for real, man, for real. Soon enough, you're going to understand that, man. Really, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that. Keep bringing it. Appreciate you. Make sure you are plugging in with CC Art Chagra. Truly, Cat's been doing it for a while, man. That book is serious business. Plug in. All right. Coming up next, this poet continues to rock. Okay, look, your timing is impeccable, sir. Impeccable. I don't know how you did that. Hold on. Oh, I'm coming back. I'm coming at you, Kate. Give me 1 second. Let me get to this guy. 1 second. I don't know how you did that, Generalissimo. I don't know how you did that, sir. You're just like, listen, I don't. I just asked the question, like, where's Generalissimo? Is he? Nah, I haven't seen him. And then poof, he pops up. Like, damn it, Generalissimo. It is always great to see you. I don't know how you did that, man. For real, you just like tripped me out. Please, it's great to see you. Let the folks know where they can find you, Generalissimo. Please take it away.
Let me just read some poetry real quick. Let me do. I have 3 poems. The first is called Channeling My Inner Bukowski. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. From So You Want to Be a Writer by Charles Bukowski. When I wake in the wee hours after a dream, I find myself obsessively trying to remember that has persistently blocked itself from my memory. It becomes impossible to fall back asleep as I ponder and try to piece together bits and pieces of the dream that are lodged in nooks and crannies inside my hippocampus when my brain starts releasing words as poetry that make as much sense as a surreal dream bending and drooping like Salvador Dali's persistent stopwatches, making no sense yet flowing like a river where salmon are successfully spawning yet slumping like breast of a professional wet nurse, whilst the poem tries to paint a picture of everyday normalcy that transforms a 1960s console black and white TV into a 2022 color 80-inch LED flat screen TV with a picture so unpixelated and sharp, my attempts to translate mundanity into a Salvador Dali-esque creation made of words actually make sense of everything on the page. Poem 2. My apologies for this poem. Why do I apologize for so many things that don't require apologizing? I apologize for recounting the fact that I apologize for things I should not apologize for. When other people apologize for something they shouldn't apologize for, I tell them that I forgive them, but there was no reason for them to apologize to me. How did we become a society of apologists? To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm using the word apologist in its correct connotation, so I apologize if I'm not using the word apologist in its correct connotation. I will not Google the definition of the word apologist. I guess that means I'm lazy. I guess I apologize for being too lazy to Google the definition of apologist. I keep on misspelling apologist with 2 P's instead of 1, and I misspell with 1 S instead of 2. I guess I need to apologize for all my misspelling. Oops, I misspelled both words again. I apologize. And one more poem. My poetry is a napkin. It really tries to serve its purpose, but it finds itself in one of those metal restaurant napkins get skin that people stick their fingers into to unstick the next napkin, unavoidably ripping it, and possibly the next one till a full napkin exits the dispenser. Sometimes my poetry is a small square bar napkin. A bartender hands a patron eating chicken wings as if anything besides a full-size dinner napkin would be appropriate, which is totally unfair to the chicken wing eater who won't be able to properly wipe sauce and blue cheese dressing from his face. But every once in a while, my poetry is a fancy cloth, machine washable dinner napkin that not only feels soft against my cheek, but is absorbent enough to clean any surface or condiment before being thrown into a washing machine to come out raring and ready to excise more messy thoughts that dare exit my mind. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, one more, right? Journalismo?
No, just
Fantastic. Listen, I keep calling this guy the Iron Shovel Poetry, and he never misses. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Generalissimo.
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 How was you at Katz's Deli?
The degree of ridiculousness is at the elite level of ridiculous.
Yeah, I felt like we needed a little silly tonight, but I just wanted to thank.
No, I mean like in the depth of your poetry, man, your words and how you use lines.
Is that your painting behind you, by the way?
That is my own painting. It was done on an old, broken down fruit crate. But I want to thank Gustav. I met Gustav in person. This again, well, it's the second time I met him, but we all went out to me, him, and Terry Rose Jerkson and Jane Spokenwood and Shockey. We all went to Katz's and had a great night on Sunday night, and everything was amazing at the poetry festival at the Word is Right stage. It was Shockey and me and Ray Jane and Arson from New Jersey and Terry Rose Gertson. It's such an amazing event to read at, and I want to say thank you to everyone that I saw there, and it's always just a wonderful thing to do.
Appreciate you, Generalissimo. Listen, this is something I love about our community. Again, folks who are in different parts of the world, right, have found themselves community members connected to each other through this online space. And then they get to go and actually be in the same space physically with each other. Trust, I've met a few of our community members in real life, and it's beyond amazing. It's awe-inspiring, right? To actually see and feel these people and actually be able to tell them, like, you're incredible, right? I got a chance to meet Mia Aguilera. We went and had some pizza, and I was able to tell her, you're incredible, Mia. Damn it, right? Shout out Sam Park. I was able to hang out with Sam Park too. Incredible poets, really. Like this community just, it does so much more than just comes here every Monday night and share poems. I really need y'all to understand that. It's more than just about, a collection of poems. It's much, much more. Thank you, really. There's been some crazy artists named this evening, right? And then Generalissimo comes and brings in Salvador Dali. Man, I was just looking at something about Salvador Dali just the other day, really. But I love it, right? A Salvador Dali-esque creation in poetry, right? I love it, really. Like, again, we continue to press the boundaries of what people know and believe to be poetry and what people believe to be art. And I'm thankful to all of you for being fearless vanguards in this era, in this niche of where we are in poetry. Thank you. All of you are so damn valuable. I love all y'all. All right, coming up next. Whew. All right, I'm glad this poet is here with us, right? A few weeks ago, right, they had got into some stuff and, listen, I'm just thankful that they are here and able to share their incredible work with us. The one and only Kite is in the building. Always great to see you. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Please take it away.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram under Kite_the Poetic Cat, and it's cat with a K. So this is old to me, new to you. I don't think anyone has heard me do this like anywhere. So I've only ever read this at one poetry event, and the whole poem is like 7 minutes, but this is the shortened version. So I shortened it to make it like slam worthy. All right, anyway. Doubt creeps its way into my brain, an infection that lingers, festering and pestering, trying to drive me insane. Each time I've desperately tried to push it away, I begin thinking, maybe I'm okay. Until the illness resurfaces, to remind me that it's here to stay until I can fix the root cause of my anxious ball wrapped in dismay. I fight, slip, trip, curse at the way I fuck up and lose my grip. I know I have a good handle on this life, but sometimes it feels as if I am ripped. I try my best to subdue these distorted thoughts. I refuse to go back to the dark chambers of my mind that kept me entrapped for so long, leading me to believe I was lost. It's not that I thought I've had it the worst, but rather that I began assuming my life was cursed since the day of my birth, damned to live a life I didn't ask for nor want, beyond grateful that I didn't allow myself to submit to dark thoughts. Instead, I rescued myself from the endless pain I once allowed myself to lay in, not understanding how I was laying with the devil, camouflaged, always waiting to inflict pain when I'd begin to feel sane again. Remembrance of events, terrible things that happened to me that made me feel like my life needed to end, forcing me into a corner where fragments of memories I previously abandoned, the issues I thought I narrowly escaped from, constantly returning to show me what I must work on. Far too long was I filled with fraught, rigid thoughts, always feared change because that means things get taken away. I couldn't see how it was actually for my gain until I looked back and saw the chain. Each event like a link in a fence, some broken, some bent, but every little link connects. I had poor vision back then, unable to see clearly through my own eyes until I wiped off the smudges that were blurring my lens and found some cleaner for the cobwebs in my mind. Now I'm able to see the light. I stepped into it and realized it was hidden all along, right in plain sight. I was never broken. I'm still whole. I am always exactly where I am supposed to be. I no longer feel like I am dealing with insanity. Now, when I feel triggered, I talk my way through it, allowing myself to sit with my feelings, but forcing my conscience back to embrace the moment, even when nothing feels like it's actually even worth it. I adjust my eyes to look up at the sky and soak in appreciation, determined to keep on going. I remember my reasons why. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Listen, I absolutely
One of my
love
favorites.
like that. Scream that shit. Woo, I love it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Katay.
That was very motivational, and such great reflections are needed because so many people are going through them as well. So such great reflections. Such great reflections.
Kitty, Kitay. That was amazing.
Look. First of all, thank you for bringing us the condensed version. Secondly, anytime you try to squeeze something into 3 minutes, it's gonna be heavy, right? Because you got to pick out the pieces that sting the most. But you did an excellent job of cutting it where you cut it. Again, we don't know it's 7 minutes. To us, that was the complete poem, but it was pretty damn dope, right? Said when the doubt creeps its way into your brain, right? But you refuse to go back to the dark chambers of your mind, right? Didn't allow yourself to submit to those dark thoughts. Man, that's healing, right? Recognizing that you're having them and not allowing yourself to go there, right? Thankfully, like you said, you found some cleaner for the cobwebs in your mind, right? And realizing that you said, I am always exactly right where I'm supposed to be. Right. Because of the things that you've been through, right? Because of the darknesses that have tried to consume you, but you made it, right? Because there was some light, some lighthouse, some source that kept you going. And I'm thankful that you share that light with us on a regular basis. Make sure you're plugging in with Katay, a mainstay of our community. Speaking of mainstays, shout out DG Clearing. came in the room. Love that dude. Always appreciate when DG comes through. All right, we are down to our final few poets. Coming up next, this incredible ball of energy. This incredible poet has been rocking with us for some years now, has his own open mic, has 2 incredible books. This gentleman, I'm telling you, one of a kind, always love his energy and his flow. The one and only Unmesh Mohitgar is here. Unmute yourself, Unmesh. Let the folks know where they can find you and plug into all you do. Great to see you. Take it away.
Hey Elemental, hello RMT, hello everyone. I am Unmesh Mohitgar on Facebook and Instagram. I've got open mic, Let's Unmesh live every Friday, 11:30 a.m. New York time. Please do join. I will put the links in the chat and here we go. Everything is fine. Everything is not fine. The water in the lake is calm, but the belly of the water is churning. Beautiful nest built by birds, top of the tree where no one can reach. The birds leave the nest happy and satisfied. With babies sleeping peacefully, blissful, they fly to come back home in the evening. Do they get to come back home? Do they get to see their nest in the evening? Is their nest going to be the same? Will the chicks be there when they come back? In parallel universe or multiverse, all the scenarios are possible, but your universe is one, uncontrolled, unbridled, unknown. Peace gives us so much happiness that we destroy it the first chance we get. Lighthouse is stability, which gives direction to the chaos, attracts the pandemonium, embraces it. The mayhem, bedlam, destroys everything surrounding the lighthouse to establish order. What is called peace, the lighthouse, is a witness to all this madness, from birth to ashes. Is the lighthouse to blame? Bloody peace is his claim to fame. Bloody peace is his claim to fame. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Oh my goodness. His bloody peace. Oh shit. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Umesh.
Thank you, Umesh is always walking in deep. A lighthouse is stability. That's the most beautiful thing ever. A lighthouse is stability. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful analogy.
I'm telling you, I warned y'all, this is the greatest community in the world. In the world. And Unmesh it's just another reminder. So when the belly of the water is churning, right? They are blissful to fly back home in the evening. Sure. Hoping that their babies are there, right? Lighthouse is stability. They embrace the mayhem and the bedlam. Establish order. The lighthouse is a witness to all the madness. All the stories a lighthouse can tell. Thank you all for recognizing that you are all lighthouses and for bringing your tales to us this evening. Gosh, I love y'all. Like, y'all are just phenomenal. Every one of you, you have to know that. You're all phenomenal at what you do. 2 poets left, possibly 3, definitely 2. Coming up next, a new voice is in the building. I believe this cat has come through and hung out with us a few times, but this is going to be the first time they rock with us. Known as Sidekick. Unmute yourself. Please let us know where on planet Earth you are plugging in from this evening?
What's up, y'all?
What's good? What's good? Where are you calling in from tonight, man?
Coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's great to be in the house with y'all.
Okay. I believe this is the descendant of Concrete, correct?
That's right. One of the Concrete descendants, born and raised out here in the 704.
All right. Shout out Concrete Generation. Shout out to Keep Your Concrete. Listen, you have stumbled upon the greatest community in the world. Welcome to the entire Concrete Generation. Please let the folks know where they can find you. Take it away. Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Give a shout out to all of y'all poets. It's so beautiful to be able to be here with y'all. Thank you for sharing your stories, and thank you for a chance to hear. I've been told not to write, think about, or even try to share this piece of my life. I was never diagnosed with any mental illness unless MS, dyslexia, or ADHD counts. And I'm sorry for the melancholy, myopic, masturbatory. I will not apologize for trying to tell my story. I was 29 and feeling fine, freaking out, insecure, neurotic, emotional, FINE, and then it got a little worse. It's not a panic attack. There's no one who struggles with panic talks about it. It just makes it worse. I lost my business partner. Well, that's one way of saying it. You could also say, oh wait, you couldn't say. You couldn't say he took your business, left you with nothing more than the cash, took your clients, left you with more than the cash, left you with the responsibility of telling the story. Responsibility, a noun. Your ability to respond, the obligation to carry forward and assign tasks to a successful conclusion. The idea that if you don't do it, no one will. See also care, safekeeping, or scream. Step 2, it's not panic. No one's attacking. My wife had a baby. You would not be able to say that they gutted your lighthouse like a pig. The operation room is the lighthouse of any surgical suites. They offer a variety of modern features: electronic height adjustment, lateral tilts, horizontal sliding, mobile coaster arms with C-arm clamps. The arms are the chaos. The position of the arms in a C-section surgery is directly off the shoulders, perfectly horizontal, just horizontal. There was nothing perfect about it. They took my bride and placed her on a cross. They crucified her on the hopes of being able to resurrect a baby and a mother, and it worked. God forgive me. It worked. Step 4, no one's counting. I got injured at work, or you could say I got my brains bashed in with God's baseball bat. A 30-inch limb of white oak, 2.8 tons crashed into the back of my head, and it's still not panic. I can breathe. I've got the light. I got this. I'm in control. I'm not in a good place. My daughter was 3 months old, and my wife had to tell the doctors to put her lighthouse's face back on. Turns out a new face only costs $100,000, and no, insurance did not cover it. It's not panic attack, and I'm not a liar. I'm just having a good time. I got a question. Better yet, what's the difference between Pennywise and Bozo the Clown? What are we poets consuming to put it all on stage? Is this just tragedy porn? Am I more heartbroken yet? Am I still wearing any clothes? Hey, Narikin, do y'all want to see a trick? This boy has been bamboozled before by better brothers. You best be brilliant, bright, blinding, bounding, binding, bondage, bandage, briefly breathersome, but bittersweet when brandished, bountiful, beautiful, belligerent banner begets bullheaded, brain blistering bullets. Are you not entertained? Somebody say something. How can you just sit there and listen to this? I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want to be gnarly and never get hurt. I want to get smarter without suffering. I'm lighting my cake at both ends and eating it too. I found some chain at the end of my rope. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm having a hard time in the midst of this chaotic sea, and no one seems to know how to help. But thanks for listening. Y'all feel like a lighthouse. It really seems to help. Thank you, Narikin.
Shit. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Sidekick.
One of us.
Cadence,
That was good work.
cadence,
You were
intensity.
heard.
One of
You've
us.
been
One
heard.
of us.
Pure
One of
rawness,
us.
man.
And
One
you've
of
been
us,
loved.
sure, bro.
It's the
Like
Part of
the
the
beard.
ship, part of the
intensity,
crew.
though.
You've
Like,
been heard. You've been
you know
listened
what
to.
I
You've
mean?
been loved.
No, man.
You not entertained.
You ain't even a sidekick. You the main course, man. Damn.
Yeah,
Real,
don't be
Trauma
a,
porn. That was the line.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting to
don't
that.
be
See,
as scared of
hold up.
yourself,
I'm
but
getting
you're
to that.
stuck
Slow your
here
roll
now.
there, guy. Straight up. Oh my goodness. Listen, if you, I know you might have heard some stuff, right? What the community just told you is welcome. You just fucked up. You got to be here every Monday night. You have found a community. You have just stepped into a room of lighthouses as a lighthouse. So in case you didn't know that you were home, you are. So make sure you pull up on a regular basis. You said no one that struggles with anxiety talks about it. Here we do, right? So I'm not gonna apologize for telling my story. Hell no. Hell no, right? But people who do leave you the responsibility to tell the story, right? To the operating room is the lighthouse of every hospital. Come on, man. Hope to resurrect a mother and my baby. It worked. Got my brains knocked out with God's baseball bat. Listen, a new face only costs 100 grand. Man, what? He said, you want to see a trick? And then ran an alliteration of bees that would make a hive happy. Come on. Like, I love that, man. Really. I want to get smarter without suffering. Listen, man, you have found yourself in the right place. Make sure you are putting your information in the chat so the community can love on you, so the community can remind you on Sundays that your ass need to be back here on Monday with some more of that new shit. All right. Appreciate you, man. Again, shout out Concrete Generation. Woo! All right. Unless I missed something, we have reached our closer for the evening. This poet continues to come through and rock with us and has found himself in the closing spot a couple of times. I think he might be getting kind of comfortable with it. The one and only Principe is here to close us out this evening. Come on, man. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
This poem is called Bonita Applebon. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? The most beautiful woman in the world. Her feminine radiance is the pearl of the world. What if I told you she was an angel at every angle? She was sheer perfection. Those kaleidoscope eyes reflect glory and femininity, a sign of a goddess. Skin and radiant as every golden coin in a water fountain. Hard to not think wild thoughts when you're gazing at the woman who unlocks your softness. Many eyes get sewn on her, but only two take her down and around the universe just to procreate a whole universe of their own. Poem.
Oh, come through with your teeth. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Principe.
Oh, you should follow this brother on Instagram, man. Like some of the poems that he unleashes, like there's a depth of like intimacy and like real involvement with the power of words, man. Oh, Principe, respect, my brother.
Thank you. See, here you go. Here you go. Them damn poets talking about making love to words and shit. You know what I mean? Talking about the intimacy of letters and spelling and shit. Listen, man. Listen, I know how it is, man. This is why we're here every Monday, right? Shout out to Yasin Bey, aka Most Def, Bonita Applebon. You got to put me on. Listen, and Tribe Called Quest. Listen, He said her feminine radiance is the pearl of the world. Right? Right? Her kaleidoscope eyes, right? Skin as radiant as every golden coin in the pond. When you sparkle, you sparkle. Doesn't even matter if you're underwater or not. When the light hits you, you sparkle. Realize that your poetry does too, sir. Thank you for sharing it with us. Listen, let me shout out a couple more folks as we are checking out of here. Shout out Black Swan. Hope all is good. Hope to hear from you next time. Shout out Jay Jarrett, Finn Flood, and Carol, who is in the room with us this evening. Truly appreciate you. Look, y'all, to every poet who touched the mic this evening, I thank you. Truly thank you for every ounce of passion that you put into your poetry, for taking this theme and really putting your heart into it. I honestly can't thank you enough, because I truly put my heart in all these themes, and I put my heart into what we do here every single Monday night. So thank you. Until we meet again, in a night like this, may this energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agari. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with y'all. Until next week, y'all. Peace.